watching the Sports and Political channel of LB. I'm his contributor. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share these videos on your social media platforms, and last but not least, follow me on Twitter at TrueVirgoChild. Let's get down to business. So the NBA has came down and fined Julius Randle $50,000 due to his ejection from Friday's loss to the Phoenix Suns. Now, the fine came as a result of multiple offenses, with him initiating a brouhaha or fisticuffs with Cam Johnson, making contact with an official, and not cooperating with the league's investigation into the incident. Now, the good news for Julius Randle is he's not going to get suspended, which means he will play in tonight's game against the LA Clippers. Now, this is not Julius Randle's first dance around the barn when it comes to incidents. As you remember, earlier this year, in a game which they eventually came back to beat the Boston Celtics, Julius Randle decided it was in his best interest to give the crowd a thumbs down after the crowd was booing the Knicks due to the performance. Now, Julius Randle was fined for that. Now, when it comes to other fines, last year he was fined $15,000 for directing inappropriate language towards a referee and public criticism of the officiating. And this came on the heels of an overtime loss to the Philadelphia 76ers. He basically said that the officials had to do a better job, and it was a blown call by the officials. Not something you want to do at a post-game press conference. You know, they're not gonna take too kindly of that. And then the thumbs down incident. This took place in the fourth quarter against the Boston Celtics. The Knicks were at home, and Randle converted a layup that cut the deficit to 4 points with under 6 minutes remaining. When he ran back down the court to play defense, the cameras caught him showing a thumbs down. Knicks fans had sprayed loud boos at the team early in the game. This when Knicks were down by like damn near 30. And then had nerve to tell the crowd, shut the fuck up. Yeah, you're not going to win over too many fans doing that. Okay? Not going to win over too many fans doing stuff like that. And with him arguably being the best player on the team and arguably being one of the key components to having a successful season, Julius Randle has shown he cannot handle the pressure. He is cracking under pressure as we speak. Now let's talk about the incident that got him fined $50,000 to begin with, right? Now, the ironic thing about this, he wasn't even on the court. He wasn't on the court when Cam Johnson, the son he shoved near the end of the third quarter in a move that consequently got him ejected from the game. The Knicks were up by 10. That stupid ass move by Julius Randle got him kicked out the game, and as a result, the Knicks blew yet another game in which Cam Johnson hit the game-winning shot when Phoenix came back and beat the Knicks 115-114. It was their 17th loss in 20 games. I mean, the Knicks just find new ways to lose games. Now, the Knicks were up 86-76 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the third quarter when Randle and Johnson made hard. Hold on, let me backtrack because I made a mistake. All right, he was in the game. He wasn't in the game when Cam Johnson hit the game-winning shot, but he was in the game when they were up by 10 in the third quarter, and they were going up for a rebound. And then Randle, went up to Cam Johnson, and they had some words. And then when the ref came through, Julius Randle just shoved Cam Johnson, which resulted in Cam Johnson getting a technical foul, which resulted in Julius Randle getting ejected. So, confined. Now, mind you, Julius Randle's in the midst of a 4-year, $117 million deal. In my opinion, the Knicks need to find a way to move this guy. He is not who they envisioned. He thought just because he had one good year last year, right? He had that one good year last year, leading the Knicks to the playoffs, galvanizing the city of New York, and he think that was A-OK. I can just come out the next year, be all lackadaisical, regress in my game, be undisciplined, and nobody is going to say nothing to me about that. Well, goddamn it, you got the wrong person, Julius Randle, and you're in the wrong town for you to be doing stupid shit like that. Because just as fast as those fans out there will love you, they will turn on you just in the flash of a lightning bolt. And you're not helping matters by going out here getting technical fouls, getting kicked out the game. And then your play has been erratic at best. So you're lucky the NBA hadn't suspended you because you already got fined earlier this year. So Julius Randle, for as talented as he is, he need to get his shit together. Because truth be told, yes, RJ Barrett has gotten better. But old boy need to get his shit together if the Knicks going to go anywhere. And speaking of the Knicks, I want to talk about them deeper because them coming off a 41 win year, and they were the number 4 seed in the Eastern Conference before they lost to the Atlanta Hawks. There was a lot of prognosticators that had this team taking the next step. They signed Kemba Walker in the offseason. They signed Evan Fournier in the offseason. And they thought those two moves right there. Now, I had a problem with Evan Fournier. I did not like that signing. But they thought that bringing in Kemba Walker, being the hometown guy, bringing him in on a hometown discount, and acquiring Evan Fournier, the supposed sharpshooter, would solve all the Knicks' problems, and the Knicks can take the next step. The problem with that is the defense has regressed. Evan Fournier has been never known to be a good defender. Kemba Walker damn sure has never been known to be a good defender. So it always goes back to, I know a lot of people always stress about defense. But what about the defense, LB? Well, if you get guys on the team that are never known to be good on-ball defenders, right, and don't even take an interest in playing defense, then it don't matter what concept or what technique you try to throw in there, it's not going to work. It requires buy-in from everybody. Look, when you're driving your car, right? When you about to go down to the local supermarket to get you some chicken, right? Despite the fact those wings cost like $25 right? You're going to carry your ass to the store and you getting in your car, right? But for that car, for you to allow you to be able to go to the store and get those expensive ass chicken wings, right? Don't you think that every component in your car has to work? There cannot be one thing out of sync. There cannot be one part out of alignment. There can't even be so much as a screw loose. Because if any one of those things happen, your car is not going to work. Everything has to be a well-oiled machine. Everything has to work in sync. Everything has to know its role and play its role when the moment counts. And the Boston Celtics about to beat the Brooklyn Nets. So I take that concept about your car and apply that to an NBA team concept where you got 5 players on the floor and everybody has to communicate. That means if your man gets beat, somebody gotta get off their man to get to the guy with the ball. You're absolutely right. He has been a massive disappointment. He's been a massive disappointment. You're absolutely right, T Sports Culture and Music. Absolutely right. And if your best player don't internalize the vision set forth by the coach, right? Then it's not going to work because, like I always said in previous Lakers videos, right? The fish rots from the head down. When your best player is not buying in, when your best player is not committed, when your best player out here being lazy, taking plays off, being lackadaisical, getting frustrated because the crowd is booing them. When your best player doesn't take a vested interest in doing the things necessary to allow the team to win, then everybody else is going to follow suit. And this is where we have with Julius Randle. Julius Randle needs to be traded. He is not the answer the New York Knicks were looking for, yet they're paying him the kind of money that he was looking for. Now, Julius Randle's been trash. Now, for the fact that this guy's out here playing like shit, and for him to be thumbing his nose up at people, and for him to be thumbing his giving people the thumbs down, that's disrespectful as fuck. I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. He's a C minus player getting A minus money, if you ask me. Now, I ain't trying to disrespect the brother because the brother can play, but when you get that kind of money, there's a kind of expectation that comes with it. The organization have put faith in you that lead them to lead you to get them to trust in you to take the next step, to take the team to places it hadn't been since the 90s. R.J. Barrett has stepped up and done his job, even though he cost Zion Williamson national championship at Duke. But hey, he has stepped up and done his job. Rowan Alexander Barrett Jr. has done his job. Now, Julius Randle, on the other hand, hasn't. Julius Randle still don't know how to beat double teams. How are you in the league this long and still don't know how to beat a double team? How? As Jason Tatum cooked the Brooklyn Nets for 54 points. How are you in the league this long and still not know how to beat a double team? It's just mind blowing how this dude been in the league all this long, even got a most improved player, if I'm not mistaken, and still don't know how to beat a goddamn double team. So I see Julius Randle. I just see a guy he's all right, but he's not real. He's all right, but he's not real. Now he's averaged 19, close to 20 a game on 10 rebounds, right? No, a little over 5 assists a game. And but that's actually down from last year's total. That's actually down. Last year, he averaged 24 a game with 10 rebounds and 6 assists. The rebounding numbers are still the same, but his assist numbers has regressed. So for a guy that's averaged 5 points less than the points he averaged last year, and giving up less assists than he did last year. And then on top, so you got that going on, and then you got Tom Thibodeau continuing to run his players to the ground. Tom Thibodeau out there is still not trusting Obi Toppin and Emmanuel Quigley and Quentin Grimes. How are these guys not getting any run? You still continue to play guys like Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson should not even see the floor. This ain't the Chicago Bulls from 2011. Why is Taj Gibson even seeing minutes? Now, he's not going to see minutes tonight because he's injured. He's out. Also, another guy that's not playing tonight, Nerlens Noel. Another guy not playing tonight. Why is Nerlens Noel seeing the floor? Nerlens Noel is trash. So, provided Mitchell Robinson can actually, drink some milk, and actually get some strong bones in his body, because he's going to need it tonight. Going against Zubac. Now, Zubac ain't nothing home to write about, even though I still feel the Lakers should have not have traded him and shit. But, you say Grimes is out for the year? Okay. Okay, so I made that one gaffe. I'm allowed to have one gaffe, but still, it still don't discount the fact that old boy don't play his younger players. So I apologize for the gaffe, but it still don't discount my point about Thibodeau still not playing younger guys. He got that same complex as Mike Malone, because I've done a video about Mike Malone, about him not playing Michael Porter Jr. And he want to hide he got to get better defensively and all that. Well, how can he get better defensively? He's rotting on the bench. How can those guys know how to beat a pick and roll sitting on the bench and watching film? They can't. Oh, hey, bro. Hey, hey, bro. I'm right there with you. I called this thing from the beginning. That contract that the Knicks gave Evan Fournier was a horrible contract. That was a horrible contract. What's up, Gideon? I got some Knicks fans in the building. Hey, all you Knicks fans, hey, I put the link in the chat. Come on in and give me your opinion about Julius Randle and the state of the New York Knicks. Knicks have been the most disappointing team in the NBA this season, hands down. And I got to put some blame on the front office, because always go back to what I always say about the scouting department, these executives and GMs that has nothing to do but to scout and evaluate these players. You got notes on them. I'm pretty sure y'all have notes on Evan Fournier. So I don't understand a guy who really doesn't do anything outside of scoring the basketball. What would make you think to sign him to almost an $80 million deal? Fournier now. Evan Fournier is one of those Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type players. If he's on, he's really on. But when he's off, he's really off. So nights, Evan Fournier can go 8 of 10 from the field, or 9 of 11, or 10 of 13. But then again, Evan Fournier will have those nights he go 2 of 13, 1 of 14, 1 of 9. So you gotta, but that's who you pay $80 million to. Evan Fournier now. Despite all that, Julius Randle should have been the proverbial rock that through all the high tides and volatile weather situation, he should have been the one constant on that team going out there and putting in that work. But instead, he acted like a jerk. He acted like a little bitch. Just because he had that one good year in New York, he thought that everything was gravy. Everything was all smooth sailing. You can't give Knicks fans a glimmer of hope and then think the job is done. It don't work like that, bro. And you going off on Cam Johnson for what? You two guys were fighting for a rebound. What the fuck? It's part of basketball. You had no business going off on Cam Johnson, bro. What's up, Teak Sports Music and Teak Sports Culture and Music? What's good, man? What you got on this, man?
Man, you can hear me, LB?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, it's good, man. Thanks for the invite. But man, look, man, I'm just frustrated with the Knicks this year because, like, honestly, this is just my personal opinion, and I'm not one of those fans who gets beside themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm realistic about how my team is. I've been looking at the roster, like, from what it is. I know we don't have a good point guard play, but we should still be winning games. We can still win games, though. You know what I'm saying? If the coaching is better.
So
because Tom Thibodeau waits this long to finally start putting the ball in RJ Barrett's hands. I'm like, bro, you could have been did that. Like, what? And then like you don't want to play the young guys because Deuce McBride can get minutes. Like, you continue to play Alec Burks at point guard. Honestly, Alec Burks should have been traded at the deadline. I was pushing for that. I wanted him and Evan Fournier going at the deadline, but I don't know why they kept them motherfuckers, because probably Thibodeau kept insisting on doing it. But I'm just, this is a disaster, because I'm looking at other teams that's ahead of us in the standings. We have more talent than a lot of those teams that's ahead of us in the standings, because we have a good bench. We have solid starters, but he don't know how to mix and match. Like, he refuses. I don't know what his problem is with Obi Toppin, because he actually has one of the best plus minuses on the team, and he just don't. He benches him every fucking 5 minutes. I don't get it. Like, I'm just like LB, man. Like, big homie, I'm just frustrated, man. Like, dude is just retarded. Like, he gotta go. Like, okay, and don't even get me started with Julius Randle.
Oh man, yeah, it's been bad, bro. Gideon, what's up, man? Another Knicks fan in the building. What's good with you, bro?
Salute everyone. Salute. How you guys doing? You guys made some great points. What's the thing that kills me in New York? This team has no leader. Okay, we don't have a leader. We don't have a closer. The coach doesn't make the right adjustments. Randall acts like a jerk and acts like a baby. Evan Fournier is too streaky. Evan Fournier is too streaky. RJ Barrett's been a bright spot for us, but he needs to work on his free throws. Kemba Walker didn't fit because he was old, had bad knees, defensive liability. Same thing with Fournier, bad defensive liability. We have a good bench, but we don't utilize our bench right. We don't use Obi Toppin right. Yes, Obi needs to have an offensive game. He needs to have a jump shot. He needs to do more than just being a dunker. But Thibodeau needs to utilize more Obi Toppin. Needs to use him more. And also the problem in New York, man, we just don't make free throws. Have you guys noticed we miss a lot of free throws in close games?
God, man.
Like the game in Phoenix, right? Again, I'm a Knicks. Again, I am rooting. I am a Knicks fan, but I am rooting for the Suns too because I want the Suns to win a championship too. I am a Knicks fan, but I am rooting for the Suns too. The game in Phoenix, right? RJ missed a free throw. Mitch missed a free throw. Yeah,
Alec
missed a
Burks
free
missed
throw.
a free throw.
Alec Burks missed
He
a free throw that led to the Cam Johnson banked in 3. And here's what's sad about Sunday's games: 8 times during this span, New York has had double-digit leads. Can I explain them to you? Okay, the Lakers
One
game.
game against Brooklyn.
One game against Brooklyn, they were up 28, lost. Up 18 in the fourth, lost. One game against LA, the Lakers, they were up 21, lost. One game against Utah, they were up 12 in the third quarter, lost. One game against OKC in the third quarter without Lou Dort and SGA, they were up 11 in the third quarter, lost. One game against Portland without Damian Lillard, they were up 23 in the third, 15 in the fourth quarter, lost. They were up 10-0 against Miami. People forget about when RJ 46 lost. They were up 16 in Philly, lost. And also in Golden State,
I was there to watch that disaster.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was there for that shit. I was just. It's frustrating even watching in person.
Oh, wait, you were at Philly or at the Garden?
No, Philly.
Oh yeah, right. I don't blame you. And here's another thing that kills me. And also the Golden State win, ironically, our last win before New York went on a 7-game losing streak. We were up 13 in the fourth quarter. We got lucky at the end of that game. Curry missed a layup. Clay missed a mid-range shot. Curry got called for a technical foul. Kuminga got called for a goaltend. If one of those things go the other way, we may have lost that game. It's like the problem with the Knicks is that they lack a leader. They don't share the ball. They miss free throws. They take too many threes. They don't utilize the mid-range shot too much. And also, we complain to the referees too much, man. We got to learn to stop complaining to the referees for every damn call, you know?
Julius Randle.
Randle.
Like,
that context with Julius. That context with Gideon alluded to as far as the Knicks being the awful free throw shooting team, they're 25th in free throw shooting.
That's horrible.
It's just,
25th.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm just so frustrated, man. Sometimes these motherfuckers leave me speechless. Like, it's like the Knicks to me is like the Titanic. We just waiting for the iceberg to hit us.
And here's what kills with these networks, man. Why is ESPN keep showing the Knicks? Like, again, I understand we were good last year. I understand we're a big market, but ESPN TNT has to understand this. This team stinks, though. Show teams that deserve to be on national televised, not because of money.
Same reason they showing the Lakers.
That's my point. Start with the money grab. Show teams that deserve to be on TV. No one wants to watch the Knicks and Lakers. Nobody. Like
the Knicks. Now, to add more context to the Knicks, to what Gideon alluded to, as far as field goal shooting for the Knicks, they're 27th in field goal percentage for the in the year.
You can't shoot.
You can't shoot free throws. Oh my God. This team is so fucking bad.
And our defense is not this team. And also,
defense has slipped off a cliff. Like I just don't know where to begin. And the thing about it is with me, I don't think we have a bad roster. That's the thing. But I think the coaching has been horrible. Because we got people that can play. It's not like we're naked on talent, like Detroit. Detroit is naked on talent outside of Cade Cunningham. Really, and Sadiq Bey. They're naked on talent. Like, we're not on that level of as far as being trash, but our coach, like Thibodeau, is just he gotta go, man. Like, I'm sorry, like I'm just done with him. Like, I never wanted him in the first place. I never wanted Thibs in the first place.
For me, I'm 50-50 on keeping Thibs or not. I will give him another year to see how this goes. That's just me. I'll give him another year. If New York continues to be this bad next year, I'll let him go. But I'll give him another year. But my problem with Tom Thibodeau, he needs to learn to adapt. He needs to adapt and utilize the young guys.
Asking Tom Thibodeau to adapt is like asking a 6-month-old baby to walk.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's like asking a 61-year-old woman to do the stinky leg in the club.
Mm-hmm.
You mean to tell me I gotta do the stinky leg with I got a prosthetic leg there? I can't do that shit.
Right. But have you guys noticed that our fourth quarters have been awful? Like Brooklyn, 38-19, Portland, 35-11. We lost in overtime to OKC. Our fourth quarters have been horrendous. Phoenix, 34-21. Like, it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it's bad. That's real bad.
We can't get a fucking bucket to save our life.
We don't share the ball. We play too much iso ball, hero ball. And like I said, we don't find the open man. How many times can Mitch get open for a dump? We don't pass it. How many times can RJ get open at the brick? We don't pass it. It's like we play too much hero ball. We don't share the rock. We play entitled, man. We don't play 48 minutes. Last year's team, when we won 41 games, everyone knew their role. This year's team doesn't know their role. You know what I mean? It's not fun watching this year's team, man. I like last year's team. Last year's team was so fun to watch. I hate this year's next team this year.
Yeah, but honestly, though, last year's team, I'm going to be honest with you, though, bro, and this is just me being a real fan. That was duct tape and glue, to be honest with you. Like, that's just one of the Jones that we caught everybody by surprise. Like, that's what really happened. Yeah. Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, we had chemistry of, but we snuck up on people. Like, we snuck up on people last year. People was gunning for us this year. That's why I was pleading with the front office to get more talent, not to bring back most of the team. Because you saw what happened in the playoffs last year. We got fucking roasted by the Hawks. And the Hawks are not even that fucking good. Hawks not even that fucking good.
Then they're 10 seed, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so that's why I was like, yo, man, we should have made more moves, but not no fucking Evan Fournier. Like, come on.
And Kemba Walker, really? Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker.
I wasn't mad at the Kemba Walker move for the simple fact is that we got him at a cheap price, so I wasn't really mad at that. But Evan Fournier for $54 million in 3 years, I'm good. No. That was a disaster waiting to happen. Because then you blocking Quentin Grimes and Cam Reddish, because I'd rather them play more consistently. Like, and honestly, I think RJ's playing out of position because he's really a shooting guard. He's not really
True, he is. True.
So he's playing out of position. You don't have a consistent point guard because I didn't know how bad losing Derrick Rose was going to be, but he's been out.
I heard a lot. He lost playmaking, shot creation.
Yeah, he's been out for 2 months. But before he left, he was 3 games over 500 before he left.
We were inconsistent when we were healthy. Here's the thing: I want to throw this fact in there. Even when he was healthy, you want to hear this fact? New York did not win back-to-back games in November. Just want to throw it out there.
Oh, I know. We was 15-12 before he left, and then
14-8. We were like 14. We were like 14-18.
Oh,
we were 14-18. We were not that good.
But ever since he left, we've won 10 games or 11 games since he left.
11
out of 40.
And I want to throw this in there, man. You want to hear this, man? New York went 8-3 to go 22-21. Remember we beat the Hawks that one night on the Saturday? We were 22-21. Here's what turned around the season, right? You had a 4-game homestand. You had the Hornets without LaMelo Ball, Kelly Oubre. You get blown out. You lose to the T-Wolves by 2. Then against the Pelicans without Zion, you get destroyed. That
Yep,
4-game homestand to me changed the season.
That's when the season turned over. Yep. That's
Yeah.
when the season went downhill because we lost every last one of those games.
Right. We beat the Clippers, but the first 3 losses at home changed the season. And also the Cavs. We were down 15 in the fourth. We pull within one, but we lose by 2. Against the Heat, we get thrashed. Against the Bucks, we were right there, but in the fourth quarter, we couldn't stop Giannis. It's like the team is just inconsistent. We don't share the ball. We turn the ball over too much. And here's what's sad, right? What's with our third quarter? Sometimes our third quarters are disastrous. Our fourth quarters suck ass, but our third quarters, we just don't come out ready to play. And again, no adjustments. Yeah, man. Alec Burks has been a disaster this year. Evan Fournier's up and down. Julius Randle, he has his moments, but other times he wastes the shot clock, takes fadeaway shots, doesn't post up. Sometimes he had his moments.
He's turning the ball over at an alarming rate. He's like the power forward version of Russell Westbrook and like
God. Pretty much. Well, Russell, I mean, you can say that. I mean, I guess. And also another reason why we're struggling, we just don't utilize our talent. I mean, Emmanuel Quigley, even though Quigley has played well as of late, he's in a sophomore slump for most of the year. Obi Toppin, I love me Obi. Obi needs an offensive game. The dude needs to get a jump shot. We all know he's athletic and run the floor. He needs to get a jump shot, okay, if you're Obi Toppin. Also
another thing too.
Yep.
He always we play at such a fucking slow pace. Like we got athletes. I remember the Warriors game. The commentators was like, "Yo, the Knicks have athletes. Why they don't run more?" The Warriors commentators are saying this shit. So what the fuck are we thinking about?
Right.
Like that's what I'm saying. We have talent, but we're not utilizing it correctly, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Like it ain't like we have a bad roster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because trust me, if you put a lot of these players on the market, they will fetch a good return.
Right. But the problem with this team has no identity. Look at teams out there. Cleveland, look at Cleveland, Toronto, Memphis, Minnesota. They have an identity. Phoenix, they have an identity. We don't have an identity. We don't know who we are. Our defense has not been the same. Have you noticed in the past almost 20 games we have an average 115 points because we don't swarm the perimeter enough? It's like we ball watch too much. New York ball watches too much. They don't clog the paint. They don't swarm the perimeter like they did last year. And here's what's crazy. We did lose a big piece in Reggie Bullock, who helped us defensively and can hit the 3. But come on, it's losing Reggie Bullock and Alfred Payne.
Reggie Bullock and Alfred Payne, man.
Really,
both of them was the reason we got smoked in the first round. So I ain't really count that as a big loss. But we should have. But my whole thing is though, like you could have. In my opinion, Quentin Grimes can replace Reggie Bullock.
True, I agree.
He should have been starting from. Because me and my homeboy was talking a while back before the season started. We was like, "Yo, Grimes can play. Like, start him over Evan Fournier. Start him."
Mm-hmm. Right.
We was both saying start him from the jump, and the defense would have been back. Start him, and before Kemba, we figured out Kemba broke down, but start him at the 2. The defense would have been stable. But it's just like it's just man. I'm at my wit's end with this team. Hopefully the front office makes some moves in the offseason because we got, like I said, we got trade chips. We can make moves.
Pretty much. Yeah. And also, I want to throw this out there. I'm tired of people wanting to tank. Tanking doesn't solve your problems, man. What's the point tanking and trying to lose? Because if you try to lose, it sends a bad example to your players. You know what I mean? Because why tank for a pick that may be a bum, you know?
Well, right now at this point, we ain't got nothing to play for, so we ain't going to playoffs.
I mean, I'm not saying we'll make the playoffs. That's not what I'm saying. But I'll still try. If we miss the playoffs, we miss the playoffs. But I'd rather try getting to the playoffs than try to lose games on purpose to get a pick that could be a head case, that could be a bum, you know, that could be a bust, you know?
We Honestly though, it depends on the lottery because we all know that shit is rigged. We all know the lottery is rigged. It goes to certain teams. It goes to whoever the player of the month is. That's what they do.
Ah,
Just like with Zion Williamson draft. Everybody, New York had the worst record out of all those teams. How the fuck did New Orleans and Memphis get those picks? You feel what I'm saying?
good point. Good point.
Like, come on, man. Like that's what I said. It's ridiculous. The
I
lottery.
mean, I
That's
love
why.
Zion, but I'm happy I had RJ. I love Zion. Don't get me wrong, but I'm happy I had RJ.
I'm happy with RJ too. Honestly, he's like inside the starting lineup. He's the only person I'm happy with in the starting lineup.
Pretty much. I also Mitch sometimes. I like Mitch too.
Oh no, Mitch, my boy too. I like Mitch because I hope we bring him. I hope we re-sign him. But it's just that he got to stay off. He got to stay off the fucking. He got to stay off the fucking the operating room.
Pretty much. What's actually good is that Mitch has actually been healthier this year, but I do get what you're saying. I do agree. Mitch
But we
is
need a playmaker point guard though, man, so we can get him more consistent touches.
We haven't had a playmaker point guard since Jason Kidd.
And
Think about this. We haven't had he was a grandpa. Yeah.
But I'm about to get up out of this, John, though, man. But LB, man, I appreciate the love, big homie.
Hey man, I appreciate you, man. If you're not, hey man, if you ain't subscribed, man, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me. And
oh, of course,
yeah.
I'm already there.
Click those likes, everybody. Click those likes.
I appreciate the love and support, y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? That I try to when I come on here, I try to give everyone an honest assessment as to what's going on, and without any bias, without any kind of fanboyism and none of that stuff. I just try to put the truth out there and let y'all do what y'all want with it. You know what I'm saying? That's my whole idea, man. But I appreciate you coming on. Feel free to come back anytime, man.
I'm definitely gonna come back because I always rock with you, taking the whole squad. I always rock with y'all.
I appreciate that, bro. Gideon, right. You always welcome back on here, man. Gideon don't miss nothing, boy. I tell you.
Thank you, man.
On that note, I'm out of here. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on social media platforms. And last but not least, shouts out to the LDBC Lions Den basketball community. This your man. Scream at me. Oh!